Tim Berg.
Draw your cash from the bank, didn't it? For a vacation or a new car. But today, withdrawing your own cash has become risky. Pat Boone here for Swiss America. According to The Secret War, a new Swiss America white paper, I learned that all banks are now required to spy on you and me for the government, and then report any financial behavior deemed suspicious or unusual. You must read The Secret War. It's free. Truth is, I believe the government's new
Stand by, guys.
cash is really a war against us all. But the secret is now out. So please, get and read The Secret War.
Pick up your phone and call right now. 800-932-5517. 800-932-5517. 800-932-5517.
All right, everybody, welcome to the show. Fifth Street Soccer here on the Sports Byline USA and SB Nation Radio Networks. I'm Nick Geber. It is a pleasure to be with you. I'm with you each and every weeknight from 1 p.m. Pacific, at least as of today. Starting on Monday, we have a program change. We will be with you at 6 p.m. Pacific. That's 9 p.m. Eastern Time right here on these networks. So make sure to make that change. And just another programming note, at 1 p.m. Pacific, Monday through Friday on Sports Byline and SB Nation, you'll be hearing Fifth Street Sports. We'll bring you the best of NFL, college football, basketball, hockey, all the other stuff. So that'll be Frank Perez, Oklahoma Brian, Nolan Dalla, and the crew will be bringing you Fifth Street Sports at 1 p.m. Pacific time. In the meantime, we've got a lot to get to today in the world of football. Let's talk a little bit about some of the stories making the headlines today, not least of which Charlie Stillitano announcing that La Liga will be playing a match which will include one of either Real Madrid and or Barcelona during the regular season here in the United States. That's part of the ICC. But it will not be an ICC match. It will be a regular season La Liga match. Is this something we're going to see more of? Is this another cynical swat and making more money? I'll be talking to my co-host Nick Webster about that in just a few minutes. Another funny story from the world of football, this time going to Italy, where we will turn our eyes and attention away from that tragic bridge collapse and have a little humor courtesy of my good friend Aurelio De Laurentiis, the owner of Napoli Football Club, who came out publicly saying there was collusion between Liverpool and Roma, and that they're really owned by the same people, some secret cabal of owners in Boston. I do love Aurelio. I know him personally. He's a terrific man, but he is sometimes prone to flights of fancy, and I believe this is certainly that. And of course, we'll be bringing you our Premier League's picks and values for the weekend right here on Fifth Street Soccer. Find us on Facebook at facebook.com/Fifth Street Sports Talk. Find us on the web at fifthstreetsports.com. Find us on Twitter, Fifth Street Sports. If you have something to say, who's your pick for the weekend? We'd love to hear from you at 800-878-PLAY. That's 800-878-PLAY. I am going to step aside, find my co-host Nick Webster, and then I will rejoin you after the break, and we'll kick it all off here right on Fifth Street Soccer.
I'm Ryan Burke. I'm the head cider maker at Angry Orchard, and we're in Brittany, France. I wanted to make Angry Orchard rosé cider out of my love for rosé wine. We came here and found these red-fleshed apples. It's a really rare fruit. The apple brings a right, refreshing, natural taste to the cider.
So Nick, we're just waiting for Nick to call in.
Our rosé is a little bit less sweet. It's got a really nice balance for any occasion. It's a really refreshing drink.
Angry Orchard Cider Company, Walden, New York. Drink responsibly.
Attention timeshare owners. This is an urgent consumer alert from Resort Release, a national company specializing in helping consumers legally get rid of their expensive timeshares. Once you've made that decision to get rid of your timeshare for any reason, Resort Release is offering a Better Business Bureau accredited way to legally get rid of your timeshare, guaranteed. We guaranteed to get rid of your timeshare payments permanently. Even if you've tried another company to get rid of your expensive timeshare, call now and see if we can help you. At Resort Release, you don't pay anything until you're ready. If you're ready to learn how to permanently get rid of your costly timeshare, make this complimentary free call right now.
800-598-0539. 800-598-0539. 800-598-0539. That's 800-598-0539.
If you are age 85 or younger, call to learn more about final expense plans from a licensed agent in the Angel Care Network. The average funeral now costs over $10,000. Are you at risk of leaving loved ones to help pay your debts? A final expense policy
Nick has not called in yet, Nick.
for funeral and other final expenses. You don't need a medical exam, and you can have lifetime coverage, and the policy cannot be canceled. To receive free information about final expense plans from a licensed agent in the Angel Care Network, call now. You'll also receive information about a free prescription discount card just for calling in. Agents are standing by.
Call 800-508-5774. 800-508-5774. 800-508-5774. Call now. That's 800-508-5774.
Angie's List has collected millions of verified reviews of local home service providers, and now they're free for everyone to read. Angie's List makes it easy for you to find top-quality service providers in your area for any type of home project. Search for a great pro in your area, or let Angie's List instantly match you to a few who can do the job. To get the most reviews from real customers, all for free, go to angieslist.com today.
All right, welcome back to Street Soccer. Lots of great stories today. And it's nice to get a story that's not Donald Trump and security clearances and Paul Manafort and all the rest of the nonsense that you hear. There's a constant drumbeat throughout all the news media, left, right, and center. Sports are still the one pure form of entertainment, so I do enjoy them, as do you. Welcome back to the show, 800-878-PLAY. I will be joined shortly by my co-host, Nick Webster, who is actually at the airport on his way to Argentina, where he will be conducting some coaching with Argentine professional team Rosario Central. So we'll ask Nick a little bit about that when we get him on the phone. In the meantime, though, a couple of really fun stories. I'll start with my good friend, and I mean that, a man I do know, Aurelio De Laurentiis. He is the owner of Napoli Football Club. He is now the shall we say the paterfamilias of the De Laurentiis family, as originally formed by Dino De Laurentiis. Well, I mean, the family was there before, but Dino was the one that really made the mark initially. But he owns Napoli, and as you know, Napoli are one of the contenders in Serie A. Serie A have been rocked recently with the addition of Cristiano Ronaldo to Juventus, and that it is predicted that gap between Roma and Napoli and Juventus will increase with Ronaldo on the side, and Italy reeling a little bit also from the large transfer fees that have been paid. The Italian clubs have come through a period of turmoil, largely as the influence of Silvio Berlusconi, the former Italian prime minister. I'm not quite sure what you are in Italy. I think it's the prime minister. His influence has waned. Maybe he was too busy having his bunga bunga parties with young underage girls. No, it sounds like fun, guys, but bad idea. But Aurelio has been a large part of the new ownership in Serie A that has sort of put it on a solid financial footing and tried to get rid of the corruption there. I think they've done a great job and getting Serie A back to being the great, exciting, attacking football league that it is. You know, we talk about Italy, and all the discussions have been about, the defensive nature of Italian football, and that is a thing of the past. Italian football is a lot of fun, lots of goals, nice, fast-paced play. But it's been sort of financially controlled in a much better way. Of course, these transfer fees now that have come out, for example, Alisson getting sold to Liverpool for the amount of money that he did. Of course, Juventus going out and acquiring Cristiano Ronaldo has sort of both increased the revenue into the Serie A teams and increased the amount of money that they spend along with it, thereby raising the all the boats are raised when the flood comes in. I don't know why I can't remember the saying, but you know what I'm saying. Making it more expensive for everyone. Well, Aurelio has just accused Roma and Liverpool of collusion, saying that a little birdie, quote unquote, told him that they are in fact owned by the same people. Well, that's interesting. First of all, Liverpool is owned by John Henry, who, as you know, is the sports magnate out of Boston. Now, Roma's ownership is in fact in Boston as well. Another Italian gentleman by the name of Pallotta, who owns the team. So he is suggesting the Fenway Sports Group and the Pallotta family have been in collusion together, that they're the same ownership, and as a result, they should both be thrown out of the Champions League because UEFA and FIFA rules state you cannot have same ownership on two teams in the same competition. Hello. It's a little kooky, but I think Aurelio is really getting something off his chest. I think maybe he's just expressing a little bit of frustration. He was specifically talking about the sale of Alisson from Roma to Liverpool that went for an enormous amount of money, 62.5 million euros. And he's expressing his frustration. What do you think? We'll get Nick on the phone here shortly, get his take on it. It's crock. It's an absolute crock. It's a total pile of nonsense, but it is a fun story nevertheless. Another story making the rounds today. And by the way, I want you to understand fully that I am in this company is in no way, shape, or form owned by ESPN or NBC Sports. There, I've said it now for you, right out there. So Aurelio, you can put aside that conspiracy theory. Now, another story out there is that La Liga have signed a deal with Relevant Sports, which is the entity that owns the ICC. They own Stephen Ross is the chairman of Relevant. Obviously, he's a very influential sports owner in Florida. So the idea is that they will be playing a match in Florida during the regular season of La Liga. I mean, this brings up all sorts of issues. Number one, the Spanish Players Association were dead set against this. Number two, one team in the Spanish League is going to sacrifice a home game for this and all the ticket revenue therein. So one would wonder what sort of revenue share or make good they have for whatever team it is that's chosen to forego their home game. Now, the Premier League had played along with ideas like this for some time, but they were going to add a 39th game to the season, and they were going to play it, they said, quote, abroad, but really they were planning on playing it here in the US. But they got so much pushback from the Players Association, from the Football Association, from TV rights, from everybody, that idea was scrapped. And I think this makes good press, and certainly people like me are sitting in front of cameras and microphones talking about it, but I wonder if this will ever really come to fruition. Now, what they do with the Super Cup, the Spanish Super Cup, is they play that outside of Spain, which I think that's a great idea. If you want to take Spanish football or English football or French football, or the French do it as well, by the way. I think it's only the English really that don't do it at this point. Or certainly the Germans don't do it. But if you want to take European football and take a meaningful game and move it somewhere else, take one of your cup final competitions or one of your cup competitions and move that to a foreign country. But don't mess with the sanctity and integrity of a regular league game. We speak on this show all the time. We talk about how a European league, it's a marathon, it's not a sprint, how the ebbs and the flows and the ups and downs, and certainly, by the way, from a betting perspective, as this is Friday and this is kind of what we focus in on today, that's the last thing we would want to see. Because one of the things you get to look at as you're analyzing football matches for wins, loss, and value in terms of the betting market is the rhythm and ebbs and flows of the season. Certain teams, for example, like last year, Arsenal, really, they won one game away from home. I mean, it was a bad bet to bet on Arsenal away from home once it was clear they weren't winning. But what happens now if that away game becomes at a neutral site? it makes it much more difficult to predict those ebbs and those flows.
Nick is ready.
And plus it breaks the rhythm of the season for those clubs. So I, for one, I don't want to seem too much like I'm standing on a soapbox and yelling about it, but I'm dead set against it. Let's ask Nick Webster, who's at an airport somewhere in California. Nick, what do you think?
What do I think? What was the question, Nick?
Playing a league game outside of your country, like's being suggested with La Liga right now.
Oh, I mean, it's the rampant commercialization of our beautiful game, but it's inevitable. I mean, I think the NFL has set a precedent by playing games over in England, and La Liga has realized that there's money to be made. Now, whether they are going to have one of the big boys play is the big question, because in all honesty, Nick, other than Real Madrid, Barcelona, no other game would sell out in the U.S. I mean, let's be honest here. So do I think it's going to happen? Yes, but I think it's going to be a big disappointment for American fans if they are expecting to see Real Madrid versus Barcelona.
Well, they've already said they will not see a Clásico, but they have said they will see either Real Madrid or Barcelona.
So what was that?
No Clásico, that's been said up front. They've said that'll never leave Spain. However, American fans will see either Real Madrid or Barcelona as one of the two teams that will be involved in this foreign game.
So then it's going to be a nothing game, isn't it, Nick? I mean, let's be honest. I mean, who are they going to play?
Right.
And I think for the American audience, if we are going to take the extra step of playing games of a La Liga nation, a notion.
Got a break.
It doesn't make any sense. Barcelona versus Levante. I mean, it really just doesn't make sense.
All right, Nick, we got to go to break. When we come back, let's pick up the discussion on the other side. Nick Geber and Nick Webster. This is Fifth Street Soccer, Sports Byline USA, SB Nation Radio. And a big hello to our men and women in uniform listening on American Forces. We'll be right back after these messages. Don't go anywhere.
If you are age 85 or younger, call to learn more about final expense plans from a licensed agent in the Angel Care Network. The average funeral now costs over $10,000. Are you at risk of leaving loved ones to help pay your debts? A final expense policy for seniors can pay up to $30,000 for funeral and other final expenses. You don't need a medical exam, and you can have lifetime coverage, and the policy cannot be canceled. To receive free information about final expense plans from a licensed agent in the Angel Care Network, call now. You'll also receive information about a free prescription discount card just for calling in. Agents are standing by.
Call 800-508-5774. 800-508-5774. 800-508-5774. Call now. That's 800-508-5774.
Hi, Rick Tittle here. You may know me as the Sports Talk host. I can talk about all sports: football, basketball, baseball, hockey, soccer, golf, tennis, auto racing, boxing, Olympics, rollerball. But this time I'm here to talk about pain. If you have pain in your knee or your back like I do, then you should know about the Health Alert Hotline. If Medicare is your primary insurance, then you could qualify for a back or knee brace at little or no charge. I have an old injury from my football playing days, and anything that can help take that pain away and make it more manageable, that has my attention.
All right, Nick's set for the rest of the hour, Nick.
I have the paperwork for you. So if you have Medicare and need help for back, ankle, knee, or shoulder pain, please call the Health Alert Hotline at 800-428-1570. That's 800-428-1570. Agents are standing by 24/7, so go ahead and call now. 800-428-1570.
In times of economic uncertainty and chaos, your money means nothing. You may not even be able to get it from your bank or ATM. And the money you do have in the stock market will go down and down. What you can bank on is gold and silver. Gold and silver have been a reliable and trusted form of currency for thousands of years. Gold and silver have never been worth zero, and typically gold holds its value during economic turmoil. Call the Gold Hotline now and learn how to protect your money and your assets with gold and silver. And learn how to set up a new IRA or roll over your current one into a gold-backed IRA. Protect your money from the next market crash with gold and silver. Call now for your free gold guide.
800-535-7789. 800-535-7789. 800-535-7789. That's 800-535-7789.
All right, welcome to the show. Fifth Street Soccer, Sports Byline USA, SB Nation, American Forces, iHeartRadio, TuneIn. We're on Facebook Live with video. We're on YouTube. Find us on Facebook, facebook.com/Fifth Street Sports Talk. Find us on Twitter at Fifth Street Sports. You can find us everywhere, really. Find us on the web, fifthstreetsports.com. I'm Nick Eber, joined by my co-host Nick Webster, sitting in an airport somewhere in L.A., on his way to Argentina for some coaching with Rosario Central. Nick, before the break, we were talking a little bit about this La Liga match, and I wonder what does happen if the first match kicks off and it's not a sellout.
Yeah, well, I think there could be some very disappointed faces, but as you mentioned, as long as the game involves Barcelona or Real Madrid, there will be a decent turnout for that event. But I think the American audience wants to see a competitive game. And that's the question, isn't it? I mean, how many? Obviously, the stars are going to travel, but if it is Levante or one of the lesser clubs in La Liga, is Messi going to play the whole 90 minutes? And that's the question, because that's what everyone wants to see.
Well, yes, that's true, Nick. But I mean, if it is a regular season game, I mean, that's fine. It's just going to be what it is. I mean, if it's Eibar against Real Madrid, it's not going to be the most exciting of games. If it's Barcelona against Girona, it also won't be that exciting of a game. But it is a league game. I mean, from my look, we have to give credit where credit's due here. I mean, you and I a few weeks ago, in talking about the ICC and about the fact that the crowds were down, and clearly the American public is getting a lot smarter about these money-spinning international friendlies, and really they're just glorified training sessions that they're paying top dollar for. I mean, this is kind of standing up to the plate, to use a baseball term, and saying, okay, well, how about this? It may not be what we want. It may not be, a Classico or a North London derby or Liverpool Man United, but, it's at least something real.
Yes, it's something real. Okay, so let's look at it from the standpoint of the Real Madrid fans, Real Madrid season ticket holders, who have now been stiffed again to watch their beloved club.
Yeah.
Is that, I mean, it seems to me, Nick, that I get the globalization of football, but football without the die-hard fans who come to your stadium week in and week out is garbage. We know that.
Yeah.
The atmosphere is garbage. The tradition is garbage. So I think we have to be very careful about moving games around. I mean, I understand why the NFL have done it. And, having been to an NFL game in England, it seems very much like an NFL game in America. There's 10 seconds of action, and then you sip your beer and you eat your popcorn.
Yeah.
But football's very different to that.
That's your pie, isn't it?
It's a pie instead, yeah, pie and hot bovril.
Yeah. It's an interesting dilemma, really. I mean, the Premier League toyed around with this, and the way they were going to accomplish this was by having 39 games instead of 38. But of course, the uproar over this was insane, both from the Players Association and the FA. In order to make it work, it has to be within the 38-game season. And you're right. The only possible explanation for this would be, instead of Real Madrid or Barcelona losing a home game, maybe Levante or Real Betis would lose a home game, and the amount of money they would get as compensation would make it worthwhile for the team, and maybe that could somehow get passed along to the supporters in the terms of lower ticket prices. But you and I know that will never happen.
Well, and I mean, you bring up a great point, Nick. Listen, if one of these teams, and obviously the game is going to be on the East Coast, that's still an incredible amount of travel time. You have to go at least 2 days before to acclimatize. I mean, there's no flying in and flying out same day. Okay, maybe best case scenario, you flying in the day before. But the disadvantage to that team is like the miles on the legs, and we see that. And the big complaint from MLS players is like European players don't understand the travel that we have to go through. And so one of the big teams is going to be at a disadvantage by having to have traveled in excess of 6,000 miles to go play a game.
Yeah,
where's the fairness in that?
Well, Nick, and maybe in some respects it's only a league like Spain that could really get away with that, because there's such a disparity between, say, the top 3 teams and the rest of the league.
And you know what? There is a disparity, but from everything I'm hearing this year is that Barcelona's a down year, Real Madrid's a down year. The team that's probably going to benefit the most from this extra game is Atletico, and you and I have both discussed the fact that maybe this is Atletico's year, and by putting either Barcelona or Real Madrid at a slight disadvantage, you'd have to say that's perfectly true.
Well, isn't it about time they played with a slight disadvantage, Nick?
Well, I think they can play with a disadvantage in terms of, playing potential, but I don't think you should play at a disadvantage by having to travel 6,000 miles to come to America to play.
Yeah, that's a great point. That's a great point, Nick. We'll see how it rolls out. And we'll see if this is an impetus or a catalyst for some of the other leagues to decide to do the same thing, to try to jump on the bandwagon. I think the only concern here is that all these leagues jump on the bandwagon and maybe it's not sold out crowds all the way around, and there's sort of an air of disappointment, and then ultimately those leagues move somewhere else, like China, or God knows where else they could move. So that is a danger.
But whoever pays the biggest money, though, isn't it? So
whoever
pays the biggest money. From what I'm hearing is the Bundesliga is all over America at this point and can't wait to play some cup games here. Can't wait to play some Bundesliga games here. Now, maybe the Bundesliga is forward-thinking, and the fact that they already give their fans such incredible value for money that they can get away with it. But I don't think you can get away with it in England. I mean, I really don't think you can say to die-hard Liverpool fans, oh, by the way, we're playing our next league game in Washington, D.C., and sorry, you're not coming.
Yeah, sorry, the away supporters, your bus will end at the ocean.
Yeah, I mean, it's just not going to happen, is it?
Yeah, it is going to keep the Premier League even more exclusive, I think, in terms of its sort of perceived value as a football league. And it's going to be interesting to see. We'll have to monitor this story, and we'll continue to discuss it as it unfolds. But for me, what was interesting about this is I think this is a realization that the ICC model as it stands now, and they've already started to take this model globally, I mean, outside of just the US, but that maybe it has limited shelf life at this point.
Well, but in some respects, I'm hearing that the ICC is the very company that's, driving everything. Relevant Sports is driving, La Liga to come to America.
Well, that's what I mean. It's Steve Ross, and Relevant, who own the ICC. But the point is that maybe that they see that golden goose is not going to continue laying eggs, and that they're going to have to step it up.
Absolutely agree with you, Nick. I think, I mean, this year has been, the canary in the coal mine. If you don't bring the stars, and if it is in a World Cup year where there has been massive football fatigue, and remember, the US didn't even qualify for this World Cup, so you would have thought that there would just be this insatiable appetite to see some top-class football. Well, it hasn't happened. So I think I think you're right. The ICC model is cooked, and they're thinking of other ways to generate income.
Yeah, Nick, we just got a few minutes before the next segment, so I want to quickly touch on the FIFA rankings, the latest FIFA rankings that are out. France, obviously, the World Cup winners on top. Belgium second, Brazil third, Croatia fourth, Uruguay fifth, England 6th, Portugal 7th, Switzerland 8th, Spain 9th, tied with Denmark and Argentina. Nick, these are the most... Brazil sitting in 3rd place in the FIFA rankings.
Well, the FIFA rankings, I mean, anybody who reads anything into the FIFA rankings should come and visit my shrink. He's very cheap.
Yeah.
I mean, it just makes... The FIFA rankings make no sense whatsoever, and it's just FIFA trying to make themselves more relevant. But I think the true football fan understands exactly who the number 1 team in the world is, and obviously that's France. And then, you know, you have your top 6, 7 from there. I'm confused as to what the FIFA rankings actually mean in the big picture.
Yeah, well, certainly with the new Nations League that's being played in Europe, I believe the rankings will have an effect on your seeding, if I'm not mistaken. But, you know, there is a fight for relevance other than sponsorship. They seem to have plenty of sponsorships for the FIFA rankings, but the relevance of them. But it is one of these sort of statistics that's picked up very eagerly by the American media, who like to sort of present it as sort of the official who's good and who's bad of world football. And you know, these rankings need to reset on each World Cup cycle, Nick.
Yeah, oh, absolutely. I mean, look, the FIFA rankings mean absolutely diddly because the World Cup decides who's the best team in the world, who's the second best team in the world. And even though tournament football really shouldn't be the arbiter, until we have a league season where England play Argentina home and away and, you know, everyone plays 38 games, we're never truly going to know who's the best team.
Yeah, have to wait for the World Cup once every 4 years, or 4 years and 6 months in the case of the next one. This is Fifth Street Soccer. I'm Nick Eber, he's Nick Webster. When we come back on the other side of the break, Nick, you ready to get into this weekend's matches?
Oh, I can't wait. Let's stop talking about FIFA. It's rubbish.
By the way, Huddersfield plus 2,500. Go figure.
Come on, Aguero.
We're going to talk about some odds as well as our picks for the weekend. So if you're planning on having a little punt over the weekend with your favorite Premier League team or all the matches, we will help you find the right place to put your hard-earned dosh. We'll be right back after this. This is Fifth Street Sports, Sports Byline USA, SB Nation Radio.
From the creator of The Simpsons and Futurama,
this is a bad time to be coming down off of that high.
Comes an epic tale.
I like war, but I wouldn't say I love it.
Of growing up.
Isn't there a point in everyone's life where they need to go figure out who they are?
In the Dark Ages.
I want to get rid of all the diseases plaguing mankind and replace them with worse ones.
Disenchantment.
Anybody looks at her, they get their head chopped off. Boy, did I look at her.
Only on Netflix.
Hey travelers, do you want to save money on your next flight? Then pick up the phone and call. That's right, call, because the best prices are not online. They're with SmartFares. See, SmartFares has special deals with the airlines. When they have unsold seats, they use SmartFares to fill them. So you get airline tickets at ridiculously low prices. Our prices are too low to publish online. With the extra money you'll save, you can book another trip or treat yourself to dinner or shopping. So stop searching all of those travel sites to find the lowest price on your next flight. Let one of our SmartFares expert travel agents find ridiculously low prices for you. Call SmartFares today and get the best price on your next flight. Guaranteed. Also, save up to 50% off business and first class tickets.
855-325-1780. 855-325-1780. That's 855-325-1780. Want to fly somewhere? Looking for cheap flights or cheap tickets? Then call. That's right. Call the low-cost airline travel hotline now for prices so low we can't publish them anywhere. Low Cost Airlines has all kinds of cheap travel deals. Fly domestically and save up to 75%. You can even fly internationally and save even more. Yes, fly anywhere in the world and save a lot of money on your plane tickets. We'll even save you money with cheap travel deals on hotels, rental cars, even complete travel packages. So don't book your tickets until you call us first for the absolute cheapest prices on U.S. and international airline tickets and hotels. Call right now for prices so low they can't be published. Travel experts are here 24/7 to help. 800-754-4531. 800-754-4531. 800-754-4531. That's 800-754-4531.
Calling all motorheads. It's time to rise up and pay homage to the Freak Nation. Or just flip your fat radio on to Speed Freaks every Sunday night at 7 Pacific on the Sports Byline USA Network. Join me, Kenny Sargent, with Statman and Crash Gladys for a freak of a good time as we drop in on the biggest names in motorsports, from IndyCar to NASCAR, the drags to Supercross, and a big-time rock and roll band from time to time. That's Speed Freaks, Sunday night to 7 Pacific, 10 Eastern on the Sports Byline USA Broadcast Network.
All right, folks, welcome back. Fifth Street Soccer, Sports Byline USA, SB Nation Radio. Got some big matches coming up in the Premier League this weekend as Week 2 gets ready to take to the stage, the global stage of the greatest theatre on earth. I'm not talking about the Theatre of Reims at Old Trafford. I'm talking about the theatre, the global theatre of football. Nick Webster, I would not say, I mean, outside of the obvious matchup, Chelsea-Arsenal, I wouldn't say there are any barn burners this weekend.
Well, yes. I mean, potentially there is no blockbusters, but the beauty of the Premier League is that every weekend there is a game that can take your breath away. And I would not be surprised after the first weekend's action, managers have gone back, they've rethought their tactics, and they are ready to put in some tactical tweaks. And I would not be surprised if we saw a lot of goals this weekend.
Well, let's start with the first match, shall we? Cardiff versus Newcastle. I mean, Cardiff did not look good last week. It was their first match since returning to the Premier League. I mean, I think, if anything, it just showed the gulf between a sort of Championship side and a Premier League side. Newcastle weren't as bad as everybody thought they were. This, of course, is in Wales. Newcastle are the away team. I sometimes wonder about this game because if Cardiff decide to play defensively, do Newcastle have the chops they need to break them down? For me, I look at this match, Nick, and I'm thinking that this might well be a draw.
You know, a draw is a great shout. And, you know, you badged on Cardiff pretty hard there, Nick. It's pretty mean of you, and I'm sure we have some Welsh supporters who will be calling you to tell you that you are completely wrong. I would imagine the atmosphere, and I know we talk about atmospheres being overrated sometimes, the atmosphere in Cardiff City on Saturday is going to be fantastic. Neil Warnock, although they're not, I would say not the most smoothest manager in the Premiership, will get his players absolutely chomping at the bit. Newcastle, as you said, they lost 2-1 to Tottenham. Didn't look great, but had some spells. And, you know, in John Joe Shelby, I think they have one of the most underrated creative midfielders in the country. But I actually fancy a draw as well. And I would go 1-1.
Yeah, 1-1 draw is what I'm looking at for this one as well, Nick. So the over-under is 2.5. So 1-1 will give you the under, and that currently is -150. I don't have all the odds, by the way, for the Sunday matches, but I do have some odds that have been given to me by our good friend Tull, so we'll get to that one in a second. Next, go to the next one. It's Everton-Southampton, and I think Marco Silva, he sort of breathed a little breath of fresh air, I think, into Goodison. There should be a great atmosphere. There'll be a great atmosphere. This is their first home game. They're playing Southampton. They did just sign Danny Ings, come to think of it. But I still like Everton for this one, Nick. I'm thinking this is 2-0.
Yeah, I think Everton, and you're so right. Breath of fresh air. You know, Sam Allardyce is gone, and you know, it does annoy me that Sam Allardyce is so pillared by everybody because he does get results. He does keep teams in the Premiership. He does have them scrapping. But Silva is a progressive manager, likes to play good football, as we certainly saw against Wolves last weekend. Richarlison if he continues the form he was in, I know there's a slight injury doubt about him. If he continues his form, and he started last season's Premiership in explosive style, Everton should win this one quite comfortably. However, Southampton are a tough nut to crack. They're very well built. They're solid. Their problem is they haven't scored many goals over the last 2 seasons, and that's why they've been flirting with getting relegated. But I think Everton will have too much of them. I'm going the Toffees 2-1.
I think 2-1 is a great potential scoreline, Nick, because they certainly showed a lot more steel than I think one would have thought. Everton, particularly after going down a man. I thought that was almost one of the standout performances, I thought, over the weekend. It was interesting stuff. All right, let's go to the next one. It's Leicester Wolves. Leicester, of course, losing to Man United in the opening game of the Premier League last week. Even though they lost, Nick, I didn't think Leicester looked all that bad last week. And, of course, Jamie Vardy coming on and scoring a goal shows he's still got what it takes. I like Leicester. Wolves are definitely a team to contend with. They are no pushover. However, away from home against Leicester City, I still don't like Wolves to come away with anything on this. I'm going to say Leicester 2-1 for me.
Yes, if you're a gambling man, which of course we are, I mean, I really fancied the over in this one as well. I thought Leicester created so many chances against Manchester United, looked really good going forward. But on the other side of the coin, I thought Wolves looked tremendous as well, and they've got goals in them. Neves, in particular, is so deadly from set pieces. You mentioned Jamie Vardy, always good for a goal as well. I think Leicester are still trying to learn to play their new style of football under Claude Puel. No longer are they a counter-attacking force, but they want to get on the ball and play with teams. I'm going to go Leicester, but I'm going to go goals galore in this one. 3-2.
3-2, so the over. So we're both going Leicester at plus 108. We're saying take the over at plus 104. So we like that particular result. The next one, this for me, is probably one of the sort of more no-brainer choices. Of course, it's a terrible thing to say because I don't want to disrespect Fulham. But Tottenham hosting Fulham. I like Spurs. They're minus 358. Fulham are plus 900. I don't really see Fulham winning that particular, getting anything out of that either. So for me, that particular match is going to be Tottenham.
Yeah, it may be a London derby and there may be some pride involved, but I think Tottenham are very used to the surroundings of Wembley Stadium where they'll be playing this. Their new stadium is not ready. Obviously they have world-class players in every single position, and it is their statement. Yeah, I really fancy Tottenham in this one. I'm not sure about the over or under, but I do fancy a Tottenham 2, Fulham 0 scoreline. The interesting one for me is, will Harry Kane get on the score sheet? This is a man who is a prodigious goal scorer, but cannot find the back of the net in the month of August.
Yeah, interesting, Nick. Great point. So if you're going to bet on Harry Kane to be a goal scorer for Tottenham, you might want to think twice about that. Look at this. Everything's coming in hot and heavy. And all right, so next one, West Ham, Bournemouth, Nick. This is an interesting match. I mean, West Ham got tonked 4-0 by Liverpool. They played way too expansive attacking football against a team like Liverpool. They got really badly punished for it. I just wonder, if that's the way Pellegrini's going to play all season, they're going to concede a lot of goals and drop a lot of points.
Oh, talk about pressure. I mean, already the game for West Ham, it's almost a must-win game. In fact, it is a must-win game. And you're right, they got absolutely smashed by Liverpool. All the new signings most certainly haven't bedded in for the Hammers, and I think they're under a great deal of pressure. I think in this game, it could be the game where all of a sudden Mourinho goes from being the sack favourite to Pellegrini goes to being the sack favourite. So basics, make it ugly, make it tight.
Does he have the right squad for that, though? Does he have the right squad for that, Nick?
I think sometimes, Nick, that it's not even a question of the right squad. You have to play for the result, and the result is 3 points for the West Ham. Now, can you get it playing expansive football? Yes, you can, but there's a huge risk involved in that, and we saw West Ham go to Liverpool and get taken apart. And 4-0, if we're honest, didn't do Liverpool justice.
No, that is
if
absolutely true.
If Pellegrini hasn't spent the entire week working his back four, his back six, he's in a lot of trouble.
All right, let's move along, shall we, to Stamford Bridge, where Chelsea are hosting the team with possibly the worst opening schedule in football, Arsenal. Unai Emery, this is his second game in charge. He had an awful first game. Nick, some of the things I noticed about Emery, I mean, is just the complete sea change in the way he wants Arsenal to play, most notably taking their goalkeeper, Petr Cech, and making him play the ball out of the back, which isn't really...
Nick?
Nick, are you in? Nick? Hey, Nick, are you up? Hang on, Nick. We're trying to find the other Nick.
Thanks for that. Had a little problem. Sorry, we were talking about Chelsea-Arsenal before we were so rudely interrupted by some technical issues. Andrew? I need the band.
You're up.
Chelsea-Arsenal?
You're up, Nick.
Yeah, I'm on. Had a weird technical problem there. I hope you guys apologize for that. Nick, let's run through these quickly. Apologize for the technical problems, folks. Doesn't happen often, but when it does, it hits you hard. Nick, we still got you. Let's go quickly to Chelsea-Arsenal. I think Chelsea are going to romp over Arsenal here.
Well, I wouldn't say romp. I think it's going to be a lot closer than the Man City game. I think Arsenal still are a work in progress, as are Chelsea. Chelsea's football did not inspire me against Huddersfield, but they did the business. Chelsea 2, Arsenal 1.
Yeah, I think I'm going to agree with you on that score. And right now, there's some on that one. Chelsea-Arsenal. Chelsea are minus 129, which is still decent value. The over/under is 3, so you don't want to take it on that. That will push. All right, let's go to Burnley-Watford, Nick. That to me is a draw again.
Well, Burnley, continue to be this team that is incredibly hard to break down. Watford obviously have an outstanding result, but they were playing against Brighton. I actually like Burnley in this one. I think Sam Dyche is one of the best managers in the Premiership, always gets the best out of his players. I'm going to go Burnley 2, Watford 1.
All right, just a brief second here. Man City, Huddersfield. Huddersfield plus 2,500. Thank you, Tal Smith, for that. Man City minus 1,000. There is zero value on this game.
Man City 4, Huddersfield 0.
Okay, there you go. Let's see how we're doing for time here. Do we want to pick up this other one on the other side? No, we got time very quickly. 20 seconds, Nick, for the very last match. It's Man United. It will be Manchester United, of course, for the last match. How do you see that one?
Man United lost to Brighton last time out. They will not lose to Brighton this time. Manchester United 2, Brighton and Hove Albion 0.
All right, there you go. There are picks. Sports Byline USA, Fifth Street Soccer. Got to run. Got to go to break. We'll be right back after this. Jeez.
Do you have Medicare and do you use a CPAP machine? This is a national healthcare alert regarding your CPAP supplies. Using a clean CPAP mask and clean supplies is important to staying healthy. The best way to make sure your CPAP equipment is clean is to get new supplies. If you have Medicare, we have great news. Medicare will pay for you to have new clean supplies every 90 days.
Hey, Nick? Nick?
Yeah.
You dropped 3 times during that last segment.
Yeah, I know. My mic kept cutting out, so it's fixed.
All right. Anyway, we'll wrap it up here.
Staying healthy with new CPAP equipment is easy. Just make this free phone call right now to get started.
Call the CPAP hotline now. 800-430-4234. 800-430-4234. That's 800-430-4234. Copays and deductibles apply. Supplies are replaced in accordance with Medicare guidelines.
Hi, Rick Tittle here. You may know.
Hey, Nick. Nick?
Hockey, soccer, golf, tennis, auto racing,
Yeah.
boxing, Olympics.
Nick dropped on the phone line, so we're going to have to wait for him to call back.
No, it's just a quick segment. Don't worry about it.
All right, that's fine.
You should know about the Health Alert Hotline. If Medicare is your primary insurance, then you could qualify for a back or knee brace at little or no charge. I have an old injury from my football playing days, and anything that can help take that pain away and make it more manageable, that has my attention. I love the free delivery, and they take care of the paperwork for you. So if you have Medicare and need help for back, ankle, knee, or shoulder pain, please call the Health Alert Hotline at 800-428-1570. That's 800-428-1570. Agents are standing by 24/7, so go ahead and call now. 800-428-1570.
Being a new parent means every high and low you can imagine. But Evos can make it all easier with a baby monitor you can trust. Go to myevos.com. That's MYEVOZ.com to see how Evos can be the eyes and ears of your nursery. Evos works with your smartphone to provide a live audio and HD video connection to your baby anytime and anywhere. On a date, at work, away on business, even serving your country overseas, Evos helps you never miss a moment. Whether your baby is with a sitter, your partner, a grandparent, or a friend, you'll be right there too. And with unique features like smart alerts that know the difference between a barking dog and your baby crying, extensive sleep tracking data, and state-of-the-art security features for your peace of mind, Evos is the smart baby monitor for connected parents. And enter the code SPORTS at checkout for $20 off. That's myevos.com. MYEVOZ.com.
All right, welcome back to the show. Apologize for the technical problems last segment. That's all on me. You guys can send me the hate mail at facebook.com/Fifth Street Sports Talk. Very quickly, want to recap our picks. Of course, didn't get to the Crystal Palace Liverpool match. I like Liverpool for that. I don't have a money line on that yet, so I'm just telling you, Liverpool are going to win that. It could be 2-1. All right, let's recap our picks. Cardiff, Newcastle, we have a draw at +192. Everton, Southampton, we have Everton 2-1 at -112. Leicester, Wolves, we have Leicester winning 2-1 at +108. Tottenham, Fulham. We have Tottenham winning that match by the score of 2-0. That's -358. West Ham United against Bournemouth. We have West Ham. They are very juicy, +108 for that match. And I actually thought a draw on that at +245. So you can take your pick between Nick Webster and myself. Chelsea, Arsenal. We both have Chelsea for that 2-1. Chelsea currently -129, which really isn't that bad whatsoever. Let me pick up some of the other numbers here for you. Burnley, Watford. We have Burnley at winning 2-1, +160. Man City, Huddersfield. We have Man City. They are -275. And Brighton Hove Albion against Man United. We currently have, that can't be right. That's the over-under. I apologize. I'm saying those odds aren't correct, those last few. So let me fix those for you here. Here we go. Let's start again. Burnley, Watford. We have Burnley at +150. Man City. We have Man City at -1,000. No value there. Brighton Hove Albion against Man United. We have Man United. They are currently -134. And for the Monday match, we have Liverpool. Sorry for the problems today, folks. It's always fun bringing you the show. Don't forget, Monday we're with you 6 p.m. Pacific time. Change your clock, change your calendar. But don't forget, you also want to tune in on Monday for the regular Fifth Street Sports at 1 p.m. Pacific time here on the Sports Byline USA and SB Nation radio networks. I'm Nick Geber. On behalf of myself and my co-host and everyone here at Fifth Street Sports, we thank you for tuning in. Finally, Facebook.com/Fifth Street Sports Talk, and Twitter, Fifth Street Sports. I'll speak to you Monday. Enjoy the matches this weekend. Have a good one.